Hey everyone, and welcome back. Today I'm going to be sharing a few tips of how to get started with the ketogenic diet. I have been doing keto for 9 months now. If you follow me on any social media, you've probably seen me talk a lot about it. So I'd like to share some things that have helped me stick to it, because honestly I only intended to do keto for 21 days and here I am almost 10 months later, still at it and still loving it. So let's get started. So the first tip is to start cold turkey on the keto diet and with intermittent fasting. The two work so well together, and that's how I started. I know a lot of people in the keto community say that you shouldn't start immediately with the keto diet and with fasting, but for me, I thought it was awesome doing them both together and just committing to both. And I've been doing them both for 9 months, so it's worked for me, so I think it would work for you too. I was going to the gym first thing in the morning, even before I started keto, and as soon as I would get home, I would rush home and be like, oh my gosh, I'm so hungry, I needed a meal replacement shake, and that's what I would have. So starting keto and intermittent fasting was kind of tough at first, but I'm glad that I started both of them at the same time. I started immediately with a 16-8 fast, so I would fast from 8 o'clock at night and then eat the next day at 12 o'clock. And I remember being like, oh my gosh, I'm so hungry. How am I going to make it to lunchtime? How can I skip breakfast? This just seems so wrong. For me, I would always have my pre-workout even in the morning when I'd go to the gym, and just water. I would just stay away from like the bulletproof coffees and things, especially when I was starting intermittent fasting. If you're feeling like you're hungry, just tell yourself you can last till lunchtime. I promise you, you can. Because sometimes when we think we're hungry, it's just our body is used to eating at a certain time, but we might not necessarily be truly hungry. So if you feel hungry in the morning, I would suggest drinking water instead of eating something, and then see if you can make it to lunchtime. So the second tip would be to join Facebook groups that are in the keto community. I'm a part of 3 or 4 on Facebook. You can find a lot of answers to any questions that you might have on those groups. A lot of them have like a file where you can look at the frequently asked questions. That might be a great help for you. And also the support in those Facebook groups can be pretty awesome. I mean, there are some people who are super strict and like, that's not keto, that doesn't count, you can't have that. But I mean, that comes with anything really. They also have lots of recipes and meal ideas that you can get. So I definitely suggest joining a group on Facebook. The next tip, I would suggest finding someone in the keto community who is a doctor or personal trainer or someone who has experience doing the keto diet, and stick with how they do it and see if it works for you, because there are so many different people who do it so many different ways that it can be confusing. I remember when I first started, I was so obsessed with watching YouTube videos from Dr. Eric Berg, Dr. Josh Axe, Dr. David Jockers, but they all kind of do keto a little bit differently. So I've kind of followed Dr. Eric Berg's protocol with keto, and it's worked for me. So I would suggest just finding one person, because if not, it's going to be overwhelming because everybody says something different even though it's all keto. Some suggest eating a lot of vegetables. Some people out there say you shouldn't eat pork. Some say you shouldn't do intermittent fasting. Some people do the keto carnivore way of eating. I would really suggest watching someone on YouTube, because you can watch so many videos, and that's why I like Dr. Eric Berg, because he posts videos I think daily, if not multiple times a day, and he just has so much information on his YouTube channel that it's super helpful. The next tip has to do with keto food. So when I first started, I will never forget my first keto meal. It was a salad with avocado and I believe olive oil for the dressing and grass-fed beef. And I remember being so scared that I was eating too much fat, because I've always just had the mindset of not eating a lot of fat and no salt at all. So trying to add salt into my diet was a little bit tough too. So I think I might have skipped the salt on my first meal. I was too worried about having salt in my diet. But I would suggest picking a protein, whether it's grass-fed beef, bison, salmon, chicken thighs, whatever meat you want to eat that day. Pick a vegetable. I like to have Brussels sprouts or zucchini or even broccoli. And then I would choose a fat. So my favorite way to get fat in my diet is to have avocado with pretty much every meal if I can, if I have enough ripe avocados. I've been super unlucky with my avocados lately, so struggling with that. I would definitely try to keep it simple because I found when I first started, I tried to make a lot of foods that I was already having before keto, but trying to keto-fy them. So like doing the keto pizza, which I still eat today, but if you're just starting, I would try to keep it as simple as possible. So just choose your meat, your vegetables, and your fats, and also make sure you have plenty of salt. And the last tip for this video is to have your electrolytes. I had the keto flu so bad on day 4 that I honestly felt like I had the real flu. I felt like I was dying. I remember texting my sister and my best friend, telling them like, if I keep feeling like this, I'm giving up on this diet. It's just not working for me. Luckily, I watched Dr. Eric Berg's video that day. It was my saving grace, and he was talking about how when you're starting keto and you're becoming fat adapted, that your body, when it's switching from burning carbs to burning fat, that you need more electrolytes, especially when you're drinking a lot of water as well. So you need your potassium, magnesium, and I can't remember the other one. Maybe it's sodium. I'm not sure. So have a lot of pink Himalayan salt in your diet, or sea salt, or I even had an Advocare Hydrate drink. It's an electrolyte drink, so that would work as well. I know a lot of keto people use the Ultima brand of electrolytes, so maybe you could look into that. But definitely up your electrolytes when you're first starting, and then you'll just continue using them as you're on the keto diet. That is it for me today. I hope these tips will help someone out there, and if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and I will see you next time.